Good morning to all. Today we are moving on to the next chapter, that is chapter number 3, and the name of the chapter is Fiber to Fabric. So we all wear different kinds of clothes. So clothes protect us from dust, heat, rain, etc. So depending on the climate, we wear different kinds of clothes, right? So during summer season, we know it is very hot. So we mostly wear cotton clothes. That keeps our body cool. What about winter season? So during winter season, people who are living in very cold regions, they wear woolen clothes. Why they wear woolen clothes? To keep their body warm. So depending on the climate, we wear different kinds of clothes. So clothes are commonly called as fabric. So fabric is commonly called clothes. So if you have visited a cloth market, you can see different varieties of fabrics, and it differs from one another based on its size, based on color, texture, etc. So there are different kinds of clothes, and we wear different kinds of clothes depending on the seasons, or we wear different kinds of clothes depending on the climate. So the fabric is made of certain type of fiber. So do you know what is a fiber? So if you take any of your cloth and if you just closely observe it, you can see the fine thread-like material, and the material varies from cloth to cloth. So that fine thread of which clothes are made, we call it as fiber. So you can take any of your cloth and you just closely observe it. You can see the fine thread-like material. So that fine thread of which clothes are made. So that is called the fiber. So fabric is made of different types of fiber. Here you can see two different pictures. So one is a sweater, the other one is a cap. We wear these clothes during winter season. And what do we call this? We call this as woolen clothes. So we call it as woolen clothes. So woolen clothes, what does it mean? It means the clothes that we get from wool. So the clothes that are made from wool. So that is woolen clothes. So the hair of animals like sheep, goat, camels, so they are used to make these woolen clothes. Then coming to the next one, you can see cotton clothes. So when do we wear cotton clothes? During summertime. That is, we all know summer season is a season when it is very hot, and we use cotton clothes mainly during summer season. So these cotton clothes are made from cotton fiber. The next is silk clothes. So silk is a fiber that is produced from silkworm. So fabric is made of certain types of fiber. Now, based on sources, we can classify fibers as two. That is, natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So based on the sources, fibers can be classified as natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So let's see the first one. The first one is natural fibers. So what are natural fibers? Natural, which means we get from the nature. Fiber that we obtain from plants or animals, we call it as natural fibers. For example, cotton. We get it from cotton plant. What about wool? We get it from the hair of animals like sheep, goat, etc. So what are natural fibers? Fibers that we get from the nature. Fibers that are obtained from plants or animals, such fibers are called as natural fibers. Then what about synthetic fibers? So fibers that are made artificially. With technological advancement and chemical reactions, when fibers are made artificially, then we call it as synthetic fibers. So, these fibers we do not get it from the nature. They are made artificially. So, it is called as synthetic fibers. It is also called as man-made fibers. Why? Because it is made by human beings. For example, nylon, polyester, rayon, all these are examples for synthetic fibers because they are made artificially. So, which are the two types of fibers? That is natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So, natural fibers we obtain from plants or animals. What about synthetic fibers? Synthetic fibers are made artificially. So, moving to the next one, that is fabric for different purposes. So, the use of fabric depends on its properties. For example, what about cotton clothes? So, we usually wear these cotton clothes during summer season. It is ideal for summer. So, the cotton fabric is soft and it is comfortable and it absorbs the sweat from our body and it allows to evaporate into the air. So that it is best suitable for summer season. Why? Because it absorbs the moisture from our body and keeps our body cool. So it is ideal for summer. Then, what about synthetic clothes? So these clothes are very light and soft textured, but these clothes do not absorb moisture. So it is not suitable to wear during summertime. Synthetic fabrics such as nylon, polyester, rayon, so all these are soft textured and they are light, but they do not absorb moisture. So it is not suitable to wear during summer. Then the next is woolen clothes. So when do we wear woolen clothes? We wear during winter season, right? So these wool has tiny pockets. It has tiny pockets between fiber that traps air. So that does not allow the body heat to escape. So that we feel warm. So that it keeps us warm. So the woolen clothes keeps us warm. So that is about woolen clothes. So the use of fabric depends on its property. So fabric have their own properties. Moving to the next is about identifying fabrics. So how can we identify fabrics? So fabrics can be identified from its texture and the way it burns. So you can take different pieces of clothes and you can separate these pieces based on their texture. So for example, if you take a piece of cotton fabric will be rough when compared to synthetic fabric, and when you crush these cotton fabric, they'll easily get wrinkled. But in case of these synthetic fabric like polyester, rayon, nylon, so all these are very soft textured and if you just crush it, they do not get wrinkled. So we can identify them based on the texture. Then the way it burns. So if you take a piece of cotton fabric and you just burn it, it smells like paper burning and what remains is only the ash. So when you take a piece of cotton fabric and you start to burn it, it smells like paper burning and what remains is only the ashes. Then what if you take a piece of synthetic fabric and you start to burn it? What happens is it smells like plastic. It smells like plastic burning. What remains is only the hard residue. So that is something that is left after burning. So what is left is only the residue. So if you burn a cotton fiber, it will smell like paper burning and what remains is only the ashes. Then what about synthetic fiber? When you burn a synthetic fiber, it smells like plastic burning. So this is how we can identify fabrics based on its texture and the way it burns. So that is all about the topic identifying fabrics. So today we started with the chapter fiber to fabric. So what did we learn in this chapter? We learned that we wear different kinds of clothes, depends on different climate. And all these fabric is made from certain type of fiber. So, which are the different types of fiber? Natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So, I hope the class was clear to you. Then you have an activity in page number 38. So, that is the project zone. So, you can just go through it and you can do the first one, and once you are done, you can submit in Microsoft Teams. So, we will meet in the next class and discuss the rest of the topics. Till then, thank you.